Welcome to Our Scars Speak. My name is Christina Miner. I am the host of this podcast. And before we begin, I'd like to give a disclaimer that we are not here to give any type of medical advice or tell you to change your treatment plan. We're merely here to share our stories, provide support, and to encourage you to trust your people who are with you, who are helping you with your treatment plan, and that you're listening at your own discretion. So tonight's guest, I am very thrilled because he's our first ever youth on the podcast. So I'm so excited. And his name is Mathias Coronell. And Mathias, thank you for coming on, and thank your mom for allowing you to be up here, and your dad as well.
You're welcome, Miss Christina. I'm really excited to be here and share my own story.
Yes, and that's the point, for you to share your story because you have a voice too. So let's jump right on into it. So how would you describe yourself?
I describe myself as someone that loves to sing, paint. I describe myself as kind. Um, I'm I can get kind of angry sometimes and I get stressed out, but that's everyone gets stressed out and angry. I can sometimes I'm really calm and I'm really slow. And I think I'm genuinely sometimes I can be a really happy person and sometimes I'm just not one of those days.
Yeah, and that's okay too. And that's good that you recognize that at such a young age. Because how old are you again?
I'm 11.
11 years old. And that is really, really good because I don't think a lot of people, even some adults, can't even identify with the fact that, yeah, I'm having a bad day, and to say it. A lot of times we try to hide it and everything else. So that's good that you're able to identify it and you feel comfortable, sharing the fact that, yes, sometimes I don't have a great day. So that's good. Now, I know your mom's story. We had a conversation off camera about your mom's story and everything. And I know you're a big supporter of your mom and just the whole breast cancer community. But I kind of want to go back a little bit to, even if you didn't know that your mom was going through breast cancer at a particular time, just what was life like for you before you found out about breast cancer? Like, how was life for you?
Life was, I have to say, different than how it was now. It was calmer. I wasn't my eyes weren't as clear as they were now.
Mm,
Everything was more of like a game or something smooth to me. I could just walk past it and forget. I would make my mistakes sometimes, but from here and there, life was great. I had summer vacations and I had school.
okay.
And life was a blast when I was younger.
Okay. And you said school. I really want to bring that up because you, my friend, are smart. You're very intelligent. And can you describe like how school makes you feel? I mean, from even the perspective of now, not just then, but like how much do you appreciate school and education? I want people to hear that.
I appreciate school and education a lot. It's something that not a lot of people have, and that some people are very, very like grateful, should be grateful to have. A lot of people probably might not like school like that, but I know that deep down they probably have a place in their heart, knowing that at least now they have education that could be used for later years. And
Right.
that is very important. Like none of us would be here now if it wasn't for the education of the teachers out there.
Right. That's
And
good.
it's it it can be a safe place, yes. Sometimes there are scary moments, but at the same time, it's a safe place for you to go and learn. And there are people there that actually care about you and that want you to succeed in life.
Good. And far as succeed, what are some of your goals?
So my goals are to become a lawyer, to become known across the world, I guess. Not popular, but at least known. Someone it's like to let's say name your kid the same name as me, Matthias, and then someone saying, "Hey, that sounds like this person a long time ago when he did this or something like that." I want to be that kind of person.
So you want to leave back a legacy. You want to be legendary, huh?
That's kind of my goal. Yeah.
Okay. And you want to be a lawyer.
Yes, a lawyer.
Okay. Do you know in what area of law? Have you thought
Not
of that?
not I'm not exactly keen on the areas of law, but I am keen on debating.
Ah,
Yes. Yeah.
okay. Then I'm sure you'll be a good lawyer. So, all right. So you've gone through that and you said life was good. Now, some things that I heard you say, which was very powerful for someone your age to say, is that you said then life was kind of smooth and you didn't really have any worries. So what exactly made that change? Was that discovering what your mom had and understanding that?
Um, I would have to say yes. You learn a lot when you know that just because of one small thing could change a lot. I now realize that there are some things out there that might actually worry you and that could be potentially very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really believe that now I can see that a lot of things are more dangerous than they look. Things can be potentially dangerous. Things can be in situations can be really scary, but like I realize now that a lot of things could worry people a lot more than they used to me. Like
Mm-hmm.
let's say accidentally tripping and falling. It was just a trip and a fall, but it could mean a lot more than just that.
Very good. Wow, that's powerful. So let's kind of go back to when you stated the fact that you didn't know. When you had a conversation with me, you said that you really didn't know that your mom was going through that. Do you want to talk about, because this is your interview, do you want to talk a little bit about how you found out?
Yeah, I'd love to
Okay,
share that. It's
go for it.
kind of funny, I guess. So, I was at my first breast cancer walk in the botanical gardens. Of course, I didn't know it was related to breast cancer at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on one of the little platforms there, they had a sash, and I asked if I could have one, but they said it was only for breast cancer survivors. But then they asked my mom if she would. And I turned to my mom and I said, "You're a breast cancer survivor?" And she said, "Yeah." And then I actually thought it was cool because like she survived something, survivor. I guess that word probably made me feel like she was a superhero, which she is. To me,
Mm-hmm.
she is.
Yep, that's your
And
mom.
that's how I found out. I didn't find out by crying because she had cancer. I found out awing in the fact that she's a survivor.
Mm. So you found out through her survivorship. So looking back at that day, once you found out, like, oh my goodness, my mom's a survivor, and you looked at her like, she's this hero. She was already your hero, but like it just made it like probably more magnified for you. So when you realized that, by any chance, going back thinking, could you really remember anything that may have stood out, like, oh, maybe she wasn't feeling good that day? Um, could you remember anything from that?
To be honest, I don't remember a lot of things that happened between 4 to 1. That's a lot of things that people probably don't remember. To
Mm-hmm.
be honest, I even if I do remember the times in the house when that was happening, I didn't see a lot of differences.
Okay.
I thought the only difference I saw was that my mom was in bed. She
Mm.
told me she was sick and she needed a surgery to get better, and that's what happened. She
Okay.
was in bed after surgery, and I was kind of just roaming the house, not really nearing a difference. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really come to a conclusion that something different was going on. Like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
Right. But so that makes sense though. So what makes sense is the fact that you are now, when you look back now, you can say, wow, I do remember when my mom said she wasn't feeling well and she had to get a surgery. So now you're able to correlate, oh, that must have been what was going on then. But at the time, like you said, you didn't know. You just thought that, just got to go get a procedure done and come back home and everything is fine. So after finding out about her being a survivor, what more did you find out about her diagnosis?
In that time, I only really found out about my diagnosis. I'm pretty sure I was 6 when that happened.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't really think I was that worried about what it was. I don't really think I asked my mom, hey, what is breast cancer?
Right.
Is that supposed to be? Like, to be honest, I think I really just thought it's cool that she was a survivor. That's probably all I thought. And from there, I just came to her events and stuff to support her, like at that time, yes, to be with her
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
be there.
that's
But
good.
that
That,
was before I found out what it really was. And
right. And so if you want to, you can talk about that. How old were you when you, because what I love about this interview and how you're sharing is that people that are adults that have children, they're actually right now being able to kind of see, wow, maybe that's how my child felt, or maybe that's what they thought. And maybe they don't remember this, or maybe they do remember that. So this is really good. It gives us an insight to what our children go through. So once you did start finding out, because you're going to all these events, I'm sure you're hearing things, you may be even researching as you get older, because technology. Um, what did you find out? You can explain everything that you found out and how you got
to
to
be
the point
honest,
where you are now.
to be honest, I really don't remember finding out what it actually was.
Mhm.
Memories of when I was 7 and 8 are kind of like a blur.
Right.
To be honest, I don't think about, I don't really remember that. Now that I'm older and I know what it is, I don't exactly remember where I learned that from, what it is and that and all of that kind of stuff. I know that there are different stages now and that it's a really hard sickness and I I really don't know where I learned that. Like from my mom, I know I can tell you personally that I know the stages part from my mom. And to be honest, I think I learned about what breast cancer is from my mom too. I can't remember, but I know I probably learned it from her.
That's good though. So you've been paying attention. And that support is everything. You supporting your mom, especially at such a young age, that is so beautiful. And that's something that you're going to remember and cherish those moments. Your mom is always going to cherish those moments because we need a lot of support. And just because the breast cancer is gone, we still need a lot of support because sometimes, like you and I discussed, sometimes things can come back and things like that. And even if it doesn't, which we're not claiming that it is, it's still good to have support when we go to doctor's offices or our events that we have. So that's so good that you're involved. You have no idea how, I'm sure but it's very, very important to us as a survivor or thriver.
The
So
funniest,
go
oh, sorry.
ahead. Go ahead. No, no, no. Go ahead.
The funny thing is that actually, I was going to talk about that. It is true that just because the breast cancer stops doesn't mean our journey of advocacy stops too.
Oh,
My
that's
mom,
powerful.
my mom tries to do the best that she can to keep going and support the cause, especially early detection.
Okay.
That really saved our lives and she saved a lot of moments.
Okay.
That
So I know that's a passion of yours. So take the floor, Matias, whatever you want to share, feel free to share, whatever you want to share with the people because they're listening and hearing it from you is a very good thing for a lot of people.
One thing I want to take a notice, early detection is very important.
Mhm.
To anyone that might not be thinking, I don't think I have this or that, or even just breast cancer in general, I don't think I have that. You need, you still need, it's still the best to get checked.
Mhm.
My mom didn't have to go through chemo other and other treatments because of early detection. If it wasn't for early detection, then she would have to go through a lot more and life would have been a lot more different than it is now. I can I can say that early detection is something very important that I did want to talk about now, so I'm glad I have the chance to.
Mhm.
Well, one thing I wanted to say also, I want other people to know and understand that this kind of sicknesses in general, strong ones like breast cancer, affect not just the person sick, but the entire family. If you're not specifically going through it, people might just assume it's fine. They're not the ones going through it. It must be a lot more harder for the person that's sick, but you also have to realize that they're part of this too. Their loved one right now is sick, and it's not fair for them not to. be recognized, knowing that they also have a story and that they should also get to voice their opinions like me or their stories like me because I've been waiting so long for an opportunity like this to share my story and for people to know that I was also affected. And I really feel like people underestimate what the other people are going through.
Mhm.
And I want people to take a notice, to think about them too, and not just focus all your attention on the person that's sick.
Yeah. So now that you have me officially crying, um, which is a good thing because you remember we talked about tears and we said they're good. So if we need to cry, we need to cry. And that's what these interviews are about, us expressing ourselves. You are such a unique young man. And I hope you continue this because you said a mouthful. Um, it is very important for people to support us and to care for us, but the caregiver and the children in the family and people who are coming around that person, they need support too. So with that being said, how have your feelings been through this? Once you realize some things, I know you say you thought of your mom in a different light, even greater light. But then how do you feel far as everything and knowing that you always, want to make sure you're supporting your mom and your rest of your family?
Um, to tell you the truth, during my mom's breast cancer journey, I think one thing that affected me about not knowing is not crying as much as somebody who would know would be
Hmm.
probably crying a lot. Even if they're younger, they probably think someone would tell them, "Hey, this person has this, and this is a big deal." So so the kid, especially the child, probably will be probably devastated and sad. But I never really went through that.
Right.
Once I found out in a way that made her such a hero to me.
Hmm.
And, you know, I actually found out that breast cancer could have took my mom's life one day when she showed me a shirt. It was when she was diagnosed, but we were at Disney World. She had a pin on her shirt that said she was celebrating life because she might not have known if she was going to make it.
It's okay.
And so I really felt afraid for a second
Hmm.
of what could have happened, but then I realized that it didn't happen and that she's still here sitting right next to me.
Yep. And you have your mom and you have all of us. And you've even seen us cry through some things, some very painful things with our friends. You were part of that. Um, and it's so good that you can see the goodness in this as well, like the life, to have life and to not take advantage of time, right? We have to make for sure that we're doing what God has purposed us to do on this earth. The dreams that we have, the goals that we have, and your mom is still here with you. And that's good that you recognize that. And that's how you receive that. Um, so is there anything else that you want people to know, anything that you want to share
I want to say
regarding anything? Go ahead.
I want to say something to the kids out there that might be watching this with their parents. I want to tell them that if they're going through something like this, I know I didn't go through the things that some kids might not have gone because my mom went through early detection, but for those who are,
Mhm.
I feel like people, especially kids, lose a lot of the hope.
Right.
And what I want to tell them, I'm Christian, so this is something that relates to me. My mom is always telling me, God will never give you a cross that you cannot
Mm.
bear on your shoulders.
Right.
And I feel like that's something a lot of people need to know. you might think, why is this happening to me? I didn't do anything to deserve this. I I can't deal with this, but it's something that you have to know that it wouldn't be happening if you couldn't deal with it. If you
Mm,
couldn't deal with it, then it wouldn't be happening right now because there's a purpose for everything.
that's beautiful.
And I want kids out there to know that there is a light at the end of this tunnel. It might be a long journey and you might have to walk millions of miles through that tunnel, but remember that there will always be an end. You will not have to keep going. And I want them to maintain that hope and to know that people are there for them, even if it might seem like it not seem like they are. And that you need to keep going and that you need to maintain hope.
Okay. And I know that you are a very proud Latino male.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
something
Yes.
I tell a lot of people that if I would be bragging about anything, it would be that I'm Latino and that I'm one of the reasons that chocolate was made.
I remember you telling me that, and I wanted you to make for sure that I wanted to make for sure that was known because I know that's a part of who you are. And the other reason I'm not for sure, are you, and if you're not, it's no problem. Are you bilingual?
Yes, I
Would you
am
like
actually.
to share
Um,
the message in Spanish as well?
yes.
Okay.
Um, para los que no entendió primero cuando lo dije en inglés, yo quiero que todos saben que tienen que mantener la luz, que siempre va a haber una luz cuando se termina el túnel y que, perdón si no estoy diciendo esto bien, pero también, perdón, pero sí, la luz siempre va a estar así contigo. Por favor, no lo vayas a dejar.
Very well. Because you are who you are and always speak your voice in all your languages that you represent. So that's beautiful. I always want people to share about their culture and their race and ethnicity, what have you. So is that all you want to share about your story, or is there anything else that you want to share? Because I want to make for sure that you have your story out here for people to know what not only your mother went through, but what you went through and what you're still doing, because you're still advocating, right?
As
Right.
much as I can.
Yeah.
One more thing,
Go ahead.
before we move on, I
You're
want
fine.
I want people to know I really feel like they should get the people who were around the situation of what was happening in in advocacy with the rest of groups. Here for the girls, what the group my mom is in, I really feel like after all this time, a lot of the people there really enjoy me being around. And I really feel like I've
Me
become
too.
part of a member of that kind of thing. And my advocacy, I wanted to keep going. That's one of the legacies I think I want to leave behind with my children and with those generations to come to keep advocating for this cause and many other ones for whatever happens. But I want people to know that these people are trying their best to support the cause too, and that they should also be included in maybe some different group someone can create. Another advocate like me who wasn't directly affected, but still wants those kinds of advocates to be there too to help.
Yeah. And guess what? You definitely were directly affected. Even though you couldn't recognize it at the time, but you're in the house. And even now with your mom, she still, we all, once we've gone through it, we all still have moments. And right now, you make your mom so happy, you and your brother, like she loves y'all with every fiber of her being. And your support, I mean, you can even see it in the picture that y'all took. It's just so beautiful and it's just so just heartfelt and genuine. And that's the beauty of that. Like you're really out there with us because you want to be out there with us. It's not like she's trying to drag you on to come for a walk, but you really go out there with us and you're just so sweet. And we love you. Yes, we do. We love you. You're part of the family.
Thank you.
So Is there anything else? Because I'm sure you're going to probably be at some walks in October. It sounds like, since you're out there advocating.
Definitely.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to share about even yourself, if you like?
No, I think that's it.
That's it? Okay. It's your interview. I'm just here, helping a little bit and just talking. I thank you so much for being up here with me. And I just want to make for sure that everyone also know about your song, that you had on your reel with all your photos. You had a song. And if you don't mind sharing with us, what was the name of the song? Who is the artist? And why did you choose that particular song?
Okay, so the artist is Katy Perry.
Hmm.
The song is called War. I chose that song because I felt it was really empowering. The words go, I got the eye of the tiger, the fire, dancing through the fire because I am a champion and you're gonna hear me roar. Those words I think are very empowering. It shows this is the kind of song that I would just put because it sounds so cool and it makes you feel confident and powerful and like you can go through anything. And I want people to know that they can. That this song makes me feel like I just want to jump on my bed and have a real good time knowing that I'm the best. And I
Okay.
want people to know that they're the best too. Because this song gives the vibes that like you are a champion.
Right.
And that people shouldn't get in your way, neither should roadblocks or walls.
Very good. And so I asked you also to choose a word and to share with everyone what your word is and why you chose the word.
I think that by now a lot of people probably already felt what the word might be, and if you guess hope, I guess you're right. Um, Hope, I chose this word specifically because it's something a lot of people need to maintain and that a lot of people might lose. But I want people to know that they should always keep it in their hand and in their mind. Um, that a lot of people probably think that, oh, what is this kid talking about? It's not a tool, it's not power. It is. It's something that helps you keep going and it keeps you in a path that keeps you going and makes you climb over the rocks and break through the trees and walk through a forest of I'm gonna say mountains, like forest of just walls and mountains in your way. But hope is something that can get you through all of that. And at the end, it'll come out amazing if you just keep that hope in your mind and in your hand.
Hey, well, I just want you to know you are an extraordinary young man. You
Thank
have a lot of gifts and talents within inside of you. And I know I heard you say that you're a Christian, and that's so powerful. And I just know that as you continue to follow God with wisdom, it's one thing to know the right thing, it's another thing to know the right thing and do the right thing. So that's wisdom, is doing the right thing, as you know. You're articulate, you're intelligent, you're all these great things, but never forget who you serve, which you obviously do not, because you mentioned that who you are in Christ. Never forget him. Allow him to guide you through the paths of life. And I promise you, as you continue, you're going to have some hard days. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say there are great days every day, as we already talked about. You already got us straight on that when we first started. You said you have some hard days now. So, but you still keep faith and you keep hope. And with that, Mathias, you're going to go beyond what your imagination could even send you. There's so many great things in life waiting for you. Just stay focused. Stay focused. So that's my word for you, is to focus as you continue to move forward and as you break barriers and become the trailblazer that you already are. You're just going to get even more powerful. Okay?
you, Miss Christina. I really appreciate that. And you know, I'll
Okay.
continue knowing who Christ is and continue following his word.
Yep, I know you will. Well, this is another episode of Our Scars Speak. And we thank each and every one of you for watching. And also remember that your mental and physical scars speak a story. When you're supposed to share that story, I don't know. I just encourage you to do so if you feel led to do that. because they can help heal the wounds of another. So until next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye. Love you guys.
Bye.